From the DMI News Center, this is Emirates News with Katie Jensen.
Good evening and welcome to Emirates News broadcasting from Dubai. I'm Katie Jensen. Here are your headlines tonight. The President and Vice President witnessed the signing of a landmark gas sales agreement between ADNOC and Dubai Supply Authority. UAE leaders extend their condolences over the death of Queen Elizabeth II. In the business tonight, it's been a bumper week for Dubai's property market, with close to 9.5 billion dirhams worth of real estate sold over the last 7 days. And in the sport, Lionel Messi and his colleagues will play the Emirates team in November in Abu Dhabi in the build-up to the FIFA World Cup. President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, have witnessed the signing of a landmark gas sales agreement between Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and Dubai Supply Authority. The agreement showcases the UAE's commitment to progressive and pragmatic climate action and reinforces ADNOC's role in enabling a responsible energy transition. The agreement will see ADNOC supply Dusab with natural gas, which will be used instead of clean coal for electricity generation, and deal as independent power producer, further reducing carbon emissions from the power generation process. The agreement was signed at Casa Al Watan by His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Zayed Al Maktoum, Chairman of the Dubai Supreme Council of Energy and Director General of Dusab, and Dr. Sultan Ahmed Al Jaber, the UAE Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology, and ADNOC Managing Director and CEO. This agreement further strengthens energy cooperation between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan has sent a message of condolences to King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland following the sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, also sent similar messages to King Charles III. The UAE has begun a 3-day mourning period to mark the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Flags in the country and at embassies abroad will fly at half-mast for the duration, starting today. The mourning period will end on Monday, September the 12th. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest-serving monarch in British and world history and an important presence on the world stage for 7 decades, passed away at her Scottish estate Balmoral on Thursday at the age of 96. She leaves behind a nation and many countries in mourning. Queen Elizabeth II was born on the 21st of April 1926. She ascended to the throne in 1952 after the death of her father, King George VI. She was just 25 years of age. She was crowned in June the following year, at a time when Britain was facing huge uncertainty and was still emerging from the fallout of World War II. In the decades that followed, Queen Elizabeth witnessed massive political change and social upheaval at home, but was a symbol of stability and continuity throughout it all. Her marriage to Prince Philip lasted 73 years, and they were blessed with 4 children: Charles, Anne, Andrew and Edward, along with 8 grandchildren and 12 great-grandchildren, regularly appearing with them at public and private celebrations over the years. During her life and reign, the monarch was one of the most travelled world leaders. She met with presidents, prime ministers and heads of state and bore witness to significant changes at home and abroad, including the decline of the British Empire and the decolonisation of many countries in the Caribbean and Africa. She was a patron to more than 600 organisations during her reign, caring for the environment, education and health and more. She was revered for her love of horses too, as a rider, owner and breeder, and was a regular attendee at Epsom and Royal Ascot. Her reign was not without significant loss, with the death of Princess Diana in 1997, leaving her two young grandchildren without a mother, or the loss of her own mother and sister in 2002. The same year, she marked 50 years of ascending to the throne. When the coronavirus pandemic hit in early 2020, she went into self-isolation at Windsor Castle, but continued her duties online. Her beloved husband, Prince Philip, died in April the following year. She was seen sitting alone at his funeral in Windsor Castle, a stark reminder of the isolation faced by so many around the world at the time. In June of this year, the UK celebrated the Platinum Jubilee of her accession to the throne. While she appeared on the balcony of Buckingham Palace with her family on the first day of celebrations, she was not able to attend all of the festivities due to her declining health. Her last public duty came only on Tuesday this week, when she appointed Liz Truss as Britain's new Prime Minister, the 15th of her reign, with a final photograph of her shared to the world. On Thursday, her family travelled to Balmoral when the Queen's doctors announced that they were concerned about her health. Buckingham Palace later announced that she had passed away peacefully that afternoon, with her children Princess Anne and Charles at her side. On the Queen's death, Prince Charles automatically becomes King of the United Kingdom and the head of state. Now known as King Charles III, he is expected to address the nation and the world later today. Union Jacks are being flown at half-mast in the UK as well as here in the UAE, alongside church bells that are tolling and gun salutes firing, as the world pays tribute to the former British monarch. The date of the funeral has not yet been announced, but is expected to take place in the coming weeks. Across the world, flowers have been laid, sports stadiums have fallen silent, and monuments lit up, as a mark of respect for a queen, wife, mother, grandmother and great-grandmother who meant so much to so many, and is a rock on which modern Britain was built, and one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. In other news, the UAE has been moving tons of relief and millions of dirhams in donations as Pakistan reels under the devastation wrought by recent floods, with a death toll of more than 1,000. And finally tonight, a Saudi man's passion for his country has led him to establish a museum with $2 billion worth of historic works. Amar al-Zubaydi's Palace Museum showcases royal belongings, antiques and famous artworks that his father once acquired in an open auction back in 1965. Displays include photos of tribes getting ready for battle, as well as a glimpse of how people used to live a simple life. Museum visitors are also introduced to the history of Saudi Arabia through personal items, historic pictures, antiques and paintings by famous artists such as Pablo Picasso and Michelangelo. The museum is visited by school students and diplomatic delegates who want to know more about the kingdom's past. Located in the capital, Riyadh, the Saudi collector says he aims to preserve his country's heritage for the kingdom's future generations. That brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are at Emirates_news and at Dubai1TV. And if you'd like to comment on our stories, use the hashtag Emirates News. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. We'll be back on Monday. But for now, good night.